The city of Gotham was a living perpetual wound, forever festering under the glare of industrial lights and the ceaseless rain. Within the silent fortress of the Batcave, the monitor screens cast cold, clinical white light across the cowless face of Bruce Wayne. He had not slept. Sleep was a luxury reserved for the unburdened. His regimen was rigid, a self-imposed prison of control. He stood before the giant mainframe, his eyes scanning the endless data streams, but his mind was somewhere else, trapped in a recurring sonic loop. Snap, snap, snap. The sound of a pearl necklace breaking on wet asphalt, the sound that had birthed the bat. It was the clock counting down to his own psychological collapse, a sound only silence could amplify. He wore only the tactical armor beneath his clothes, his muscles taut, his nerves frayed by chronic sleep deprivation. He ran a gloved thumb over a tiny, worn piece of parchment, a scrap from a child's drawing saved from a burning orphanage years ago. He never looked at it, but the fibrous texture under his skin was a necessary anchor. An obsession with texture, with the material reality he fought to keep organized. He performed a diagnostic check on his grappling gun's cable harness for the 10th time that night. Control was all he had left. The possibility of a single frayed wire was the possibility of total failure. Above ground in a condemned, rust-eaten amusement park on the edge of the city's industrial zone, the source of Bruce's insomnia was at work.
He's my audience.
The Joker was surrounded by his own chaotic architecture, flashing carnival lights, grinning, chipped statues, and a complex theatrical rig centered on two large, identical red buttons. The Joker was dressed in his signature, ill-fitting purple suit. He was recording a message, his painted smile wide and utterly empty of joy. He spoke to the lens, his voice a strange, high-pitched sing-song. He's listening, you know, he always is. He's my audience of one, my biggest fan. We've been dancing for so long, haven't we, Batsy? But every dance needs a grand finale, and every grand finale needs a choice. He paused, adjusting the focus on the camera with a deliberate, trembling hand. He was energized, fueled by a corrosive blend of manic euphoria and deep-seated, crippling loneliness. The ultimate entertainer seeking the ultimate reaction. The cameras panned slowly, revealing the setup. The Joker pointed a long, bony finger at the two red buttons. Look at button A, that's the fun one. It kills me. Poof. Gone. No more laughs, no more chaos. Just a boring, sterile Gotham waiting for the next mugger. You win, Batsy. You keep your city. But wait! Look at button B. If you don't push button A, then button B goes off far away in the quiet suburbs and it kills. Our success story. The Joker brought a greasy, white-gloved hand close to the lens, his eyes glinting with a dangerous, impossible intelligence. Remember little Sarah Jenkins? The little girl you pulled out of that fire in the East End last year? The one who grew up and went to college? She's a success story. Proof that your little ritual works. Push button A, and you save her life, but you break your one rule. You kill. Don't push button A, and you stay pure. But Sarah Jenkins becomes a reminder that purity has a price. Which is it, old friend? Are you a hero, or are you a hypocrite? The challenge was not to the body, but to the very soul of the Batman. The game had begun, and the rules were designed for one ultimate outcome: the destruction of the hero's core belief. The Batcave's emergency signal flared crimson, bathing Bruce Wayne in a pulsing light that mimicked the manic energy of his adversary. The screen displayed the coordinates of Sarah Jenkins's apartment in the quiet, seemingly safe suburbs, a place Batman rarely patrolled, a place Joker had chosen precisely for its symbolic distance from the city's chaos. Batman's internal monitor registered a spike in adrenaline, but his external reactions were glacial, precise. He was a machine built on trauma, and every decision was an exercise in controlled thought. He could race to Sarah's location, but his internal chronometers confirmed the impossibility of reaching her before the timer on button B expired. The only way to save her was the agonizing choice: to activate button A and end the Joker. He knew this was the trap. The Joker wasn't after a body count, he was after Batman's purity. Meanwhile, the Joker continued his performance in the abandoned park. He stood before the cameras, his focus absolute, his smile fixed. He picked up a rusty, dented crowbar, running his thumb lightly over the cold, familiar steel. His breathing was rapid, shallow, the telltale sign of a mind operating at a frightening speed. A young henchman, new to the game and terrified by the intensity, shuffled too close to the camera, accidentally knocking over a bucket of green paint that stained the cracked concrete. The henchman stammered a frantic apology. his voice cracking with fear. The Joker's smile did not waver. He didn't scream. He didn't even look at the unfortunate man. He simply brought the crowbar down with a sudden, horrifyingly efficient thwack, not on the henchman, but on a nearby, brightly painted mannequin dressed as a cheerful policeman. The plastic head shattered into glittering fragments. The henchman froze, terrified by the controlled surgical violence. The message was clear. The Joker's wrath was not random. It was directed, theatrical, and always served the joke. The Joker turned back to the camera, his voice now a low, conspiratorial whisper. "See the henchmen, the police, they're just props. But we are the show, Batsy. You and I. The world's greatest double act. And that's why I did something special for you. I saved her. Little Sarah Jenkins. I pulled her out of that fire last year, the one I started. I left a little calling card on her tiny wrist. Because I knew you needed a win. You needed to believe your war meant something." He produced a small, slightly singed Joker card and held it up to the camera. "It takes one bad day to break a person, Batsy. But I know your trick. You save the broken ones. And now, you have to kill the man who created your successful ward, or you watch your success die. The joke is, no matter what you choose, I win. The joke is always on you." The Joker was playing the role of the ultimate psychoanalyst, dissecting Batman's very reason for being. By forcing the choice between a life he cherished and a rule he couldn't break, the Joker was attempting to either turn Batman into a mirror of his own chaos or condemn him to an everlasting, agonizing failure. The tension in the Batcave was unbearable. Batman's hand hovered over the button, the one capable of ending the Joker. The decision was not a choice between good and evil, but between two competing forms of horror.
Beautiful choice.
The timer on Sarah Jenkins' bomb was ticking. The moment of the ultimate moral decision was approaching. The decision was made, not with a roar of conviction, but with a silent, agonizing surrender. Batman's hand retracted from the button that would have ended the Joker. He chose the rule over the life. He spun his chair, initiating the pre-flight sequence for the Batwing, a desperate, futile attempt to race across the city and somehow mitigate the damage at Sarah Jenkins' location. He clung to the thread of his moral code, even as that thread began to fray. In the abandoned amusement park, the Joker watched the clock tick down. He was hunched over, his breathing ragged, the fixed grin on his face betraying a deep, painful tension. He wasn't looking at the buttons. He was looking at his own reflection in the metallic casing of the camera lens. And then the sound. A heavy, distant boom, too far away to be the immediate park. A sound that confirmed the explosion at Sarah Jenkins' suburban apartment. The coordinates on Batman's screen went dark, replaced by a red advisory. The Joker let out a slow, long exhale and a sound emerged. Not the manic cackle of victory, but a small, heartbreaking whimper. He had won, but the victory was hollow. Batman had not played his game. Batman was still pure, meaning the dance would continue. The joke would never truly end. He stood up and faced the lens again, his smile returning, wider, more theatrical than before. The final, chilling message was transmitted directly to the Batcave. "A beautiful choice, Batsy. Truly magnificent. You let a symbol of your success die, just to keep the rule. You saved your soul, but the cost was my ultimate triumph. You see, you're trapped. You can't stop me because stopping me means breaking your rule. And you can't break your rule because then you become just like me. You complete me, old friend. And now Gotham knows the truth. Your moral line is not protection. It is a cruel joke." The Joker walked off camera, leaving the two red buttons in the center of the frame. From the shadows, one lone, chilling sound was heard, a single, clear drop of liquid hitting the concrete. A single, unacknowledged tear of frustration quickly masked by a rising, uncontrollable cackle. Back in the Batcave, Batman was frozen. The air was thick with the scent of burning electronics and bitter failure. The snap of the pearl necklace was now a deafening drumbeat in his skull. He had saved his integrity, but the Joker had just proven that integrity itself was the ultimate form of self-sabotage. He pushed himself away from the console, walking into the dark recess of the cave, towards the giant penny and the museum of his trauma. The fight for Gotham wasn't a series of battles, it was a perpetual, agonizing cycle. He would always bring the Joker back, and the Joker would always escape, ensuring that both their existences were forever validated by the other. The White Knight's shadow was vast, and within it, the chaos thrived. What is the true cost of a moral absolute? Is a hero who saves his soul by sacrificing others truly a hero, or merely an accomplice to the villain's grand design?